Keeping all fun checks, reconcile differences. Keeping all fun checks, reconcile differences. Keeping all fun checks, reconcile.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Truth Reveal podcast, where we host conversations that relate, reveal truth, and that ultimately lead to reconciliation. I, of course, am your host today, Holly Harris, and I am joined by my co-host, Latricia Peak
What's up, y'all?
and Shanita Street.
Hey y'all.
That rhymed. Oh, well, guys, today we ain't want nothing. We just came. We don't have any particular format today. We just wanted to have an episode where we shared with you guys just a little bit about ourselves, how we met, etc., etc., and whatever else kind of floats out of this conversation. So we just wanted to start by telling a little bit about ourselves. I'll start with myself. I am the baby girl in a family of five. Growing up, we were coined the Harris Five because we was a little mini choir, and my mother and father were pastors. What else can I say about myself? I was a shy kid growing up, but kind of slowly but surely began to come out of my shell. I remember when I began to look at colleges, because of course all of you guys know that we, by now, hopefully, if you've been a part of the podcast for any length of time, you know that we've mentioned from time to time that we met on the campus of UNC Charlotte. And so I remember when I was looking to go to colleges, I never forget the college career day. And I was, going from table to table trying to see which college I wanted to go to. And I saw Johnson C. Smith, and one of the, I think it was my sister's boyfriend at the time, he would rave and rave about the college, I guess because of their football team was good at the time. And so I thought, well, maybe it'll be interesting to go there, to go to a HBCU. And so I picked up that information, but then I saw the catalog or the table rather for UNC Charlotte right beside it. And I picked up that information as well, went back home, and I remember looking at Johnson C. Smith thinking, okay, I know I'll probably be able to get into there, but I kind of fooled around a little bit in high school, so my grades were not the best. So I thought, well, I definitely ain't gonna be able to get into UNC Charlotte, but something was drawing me to that table to pick up that information. So I apply for Johnson C. Smith, and I get in. And so, I was already in a college, but then something just was not settled about me going there. And this is before I even really had that tight knit of a relationship with God, but just something was just like, take another look at UNC Charlotte. And so, but I kept saying to myself, I know I probably can't get in there. My GPA just does not meet the mark. And so something was like, apply anyway. I applied, and long story short, a few weeks later, we get the packet in the mail, and I never forget my mom holding up the envelope, and it said acceptance materials inside. And I just started screaming because I was just like, I couldn't believe that I had actually gotten into the school. But it wasn't long after that I met these ladies in actually, wait a minute. It was UNC Charlotte. They had a choir called the Children of the Sun Cultural Choir, and so they would always do like a fall concert, right? It was like right before, not right before. It was like during the summer? I'm trying to remember when they did the concert, because when they did the summer soar, it was during the fall. Okay. So it was because I went to the summer soar. I remember going to that. And then right after that, of course, we settled in for the fall semester, and they did the concert. And when I heard Children of the Sun sing, I was like, oh my God, I have got to get on that choir. And then lo and behold, we all come into row 183, and somehow, some way I met these ladies. I mean, even before we started talking, I was like, I can't really pinpoint exactly when I met y'all, but somehow, some way, we forged a friendship. But I'm gonna stop and let one of these other ladies kind of tell a little bit about themselves. So whoever wants to go next.
I'll jump in.
Okay.
So my name is Latricia, aka Sweet, and I'm from North Carolina. So I am the oldest of four. And so my origin story was I really thought I was going to Chapel Hill. I
Oh.
went to their they had a program for the summer for African American children. And I think it was like I feel like it was like a weekend type of deal. So you go and you got to spend the weekend on the campus. And I did that. And
Mhm.
there were some local young ladies from my hometown that was there. And it's funny, y'all, because I met Naisha there.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
that's where I
that's
felt that
crazy.
is
She was
crazy.
another
Naisha.
Oh
choir
yeah.
member.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Naisha's a choir member that we met at UNC Charlotte, but I met Naisha for the first time at on the campus of Chapel Hill. And so I just thought, hey, I'm gonna apply there. I enjoyed it. I don't think like growing up, I had like an allegiance to any school. Like I had my best friend was like, she knew she was always going to Chapel Hill, and she did. I just was
Wow.
like, I knew I wanted to go to college, and honestly, I wanted to go to a HBCU, but my
Hmm.
mama was like, no. I wanted to go to Atlanta to a HBCU, and she was like, nah,
Dang.
all they gonna be doing is partying. So I was
Mm.
like, okay, whatever. So I thought I was going to go to Chapel Hill. Me being me, and the Lord is still working on me. I did not apply. It
Mm.
just, time escaped me, and I did not get to get in my application. So it was beginning to be crunch time, and I was like, I got to get out of Shelby. And so I just applied to UNC Charlotte on a wing and a prayer. It was the only school I applied to,
Wow.
and I got accepted. And I remember getting the acceptance letter in the mail, and I was just our driveway was like a hill. I just remember standing at the end of the driveway yelling and screaming like, I got in. And so I'm not sure how I was introduced. It's funny because I just don't remember. I
Yeah.
don't remember how I was introduced to Children of the Sun. But I sing and had always sung. Maybe I saw them at something on campus. I just knew that there was a gospel choir and that I wanted to be a part. And so I didn't join a lot of things, but that was like one of the first things that I, kind of did like that first semester was I joined the choir. And Shanita and Holly were a year ahead of me. So,
Mhm.
I was like the freshman and I joined the choir, and just from singing on the choir, relationships built because we were traveling and we were meeting on a weekly
Mhm.
basis for 2 hours or so in row 183.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of got to know each other from just being in proximity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So my name is Shanita Street, and I'm the oldest of three.
Mhm.
And I just knew that I wanted to go into journalism.
Mm.
And my initial plan was to go to UNC Chapel Hill because they have, School of Journalism. But then I
Wow.
was like, well, maybe, I can go to HBCU. So I considered Hampton and Howard. And then, I
Mm.
was kind of looking at them prices
Oh my God.
and the location.
Okay.
I said, okay, what's the next best option?
Hmm.
And I figured UNC Charlotte to me, well, to a lot of us back then, was the blackest white school.
It was. It
It
had
was
the
like a
highest
little,
percentage.
yeah. So
Hmm.
that was one of the things that stood out to me was that maybe I can still have that feel
Hmm.
at a
Mhm.
UNC school, but also go to school for journalism, which I didn't hear anything about their journalism program, which was a minor at the time, and my major was communications. And so I was like, well, Charlotte is a major city. That's where my opportunity is going to land if I
Mm.
do go into journalism, which I did. And I just figured it would all work out. So I
Mm.
selected to go to UNC Charlotte, got accepted. My grandma thought I was going to be the next Oprah.
There's still
And
time.
yeah, and I remember her saying, well, I need to write Oprah. And so she can get you some money because back then it was Oprah was, which she still is,
Yeah.
very prominent in this world, but also whenever you didn't see as many black figures and faces and that were as big as her, that was a big deal. And
Mhm.
so in everybody's eyes, she had made it. And so
Yeah.
grandma was like, she made it. She got some money to help you through school and you're gonna be all right, which I ain't never get no money from Oprah. But um, I remember going to the choir, and at that time I think it was some of the people like Adrian, Melinda, and
Mhm.
Chris.
Yeah.
These are all people from the choir, and Nahasha, and some other people. I won't name everybody, but I
Mhm.
just knew from, and I believe like you, Holly, that I saw or heard them in a concert.
Yeah.
And me being a church girl, I was like, well, I'm going where the gospel choir is
Yeah.
because that was an association
Mhm.
for home, for what felt safe and comfortable,
Yeah.
was on a choir amongst peers, people, that had similar likings to me. And
Mhm.
so I was in the alto section and we ran deep,
We
you
did.
know.
Always.
Yes, always got 15 million altos and two
Altos.
sopranos.
Exactly.
So that was my experience with coming into Children of the Sun and just making great connections. And so many of us
Yeah.
are still connected to this
Mhm.
day, which I think is a
Sure.
beautiful thing because that does show many times with HBCUs, what they're known for is the community and the
Yeah.
unity. And I feel like we established that the choir gave us a sense of that, which is why many
Mhm.
of us are still connected today. We have very
Yeah.
authentic relationships. And actually, Holly and I, we roomed in a suite.
Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, Martin. What
um,
was it? Martin 180.
Now, y'all
What?
saying in Q.
yeah,
Q.
Y'all had a song.
Q
Q103.
103. Yep.
Because we used to say
Why did I say Martin? That
Q103.
was in Martin Village, right? What?
No, the
No.
Smurfs.
The Smurfs.
No, we were in Martin. It was right across from the Smurf
Smurfs. Yeah.
Village. Martin at Q 103, I think it was.
I thought we were in the Smurfs.
No, y'all weren't in the
Yeah, we
We
Smurfs.
weren't
weren't.
in Smurf.
We
No,
just
we was in
saw them.
Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, they was right. It was right next door to Martin Village. Yeah.
I remember that Q103 because I used to say it like a radio
Yeah.
station.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded
Man.
like to me. So yeah, and
Yeah.
Shamika, Nahasha,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
who were other choir members
Absolutely.
at
Man.
that time. So
Good
yeah, it was
times.
some great
Mm-hmm.
experiences back then, and we made a lot of sustainable
Yeah.
relationships.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah,
that was a thing I was gonna say because I know when you mentioned that price tag, because when I was looking and had gotten into Johnson C. Smith, that was one of the things that made me be like, okay, maybe I need to look because when I looked at that price tag, I was like, Father. And
Yeah.
then knowing, that literally UNC Charlotte was like half that, I was like,
yeah,
okay, let me apply. But that was one of the things too I vacillated with going to a predominantly white university was like, okay, am I missing out on something for a long time? But I think you put that eloquently when you said we were able to establish that family dynamic through the choir. Now there are other aspects that you do get from HBCUs, like as far as the whole history and cultural experience that you get there
yeah.
that you wouldn't necessarily get at a
Right.
WI. But yeah, so, but I don't, regret. God has a way, of intersecting people's lives, putting you exactly where you are meant to be. And I definitely believe I was meant to be at UNC Charlotte. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Amen.
agree with that. Like what Shanita was saying, I came in 97, so you guys must have came in 96. And so
Hmm.
you're talking about 30, was it 31 years now?
I'm
30,
telling you, ain't that
30 something,
something?
30 plus years of relationship
Yeah.
that really formed from those relationships that stemmed from, being 18 years old coming to college, and now 46, and still not just in relationship with Holly and Shanita,
Mm-hmm.
but some of my most grounding and lasting relationships are with people that I met in the choir,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and that that we're still showing up for one another
Mm-hmm.
30 years later for
Yeah.
weddings and
Yeah.
the happy times, the good
The
times, kids
funerals,
being
the
birthed.
yeah.
Um, we're at that stage where some of us have lost parents, and
Mm-hmm.
we're like still showing up, and so that has been very just gratifying. In a world where
Yeah.
everybody is very individualistic. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
we didn't always used to be that way, but I feel like society has kind of grafted to this individualistic way of doing
Yeah.
life, just you and your own. It still feels good to have those communal aspects through friendship,
Yeah.
where you still show
Absolutely.
up for people. And now we're all spread out throughout the country and the state. But still showing up for one another.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful thing. And that although it has been 34 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
um, because of the strength in our relationships and what we established in the beginning, although many of us have may not even see each other
Yeah.
consistently,
May not
we
even talk.
still are able to show up
Yeah.
for each other as
Exactly.
often as much as we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is really it exemplifies strong community
Mm-hmm.
that so many people look for and aren't able to find. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
nothing to get a text message and say, "Hey, this is going on with this person. Pray for this individual," or "This person has lost a loved one.
Mm-hmm.
What we gonna do?"
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is, it shows the beauty and the authenticity in our
Mm-hmm.
relationships.
Yeah, and just being there to pick each other up is so vital because oftentimes, like I think about, those who are unhoused, we use that word now instead of homeless, but
Homeless, yeah.
um many of them, I think, like they didn't have anyone in their life that could, and I would like to think, at least I know that if any one of us ended up in that type of situation, we would put our ducats together and be like, you ain't, you're
Right.
not gonna be, but so it's awesome to have that type of support system. And so yeah, I'm grateful for it, definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and
Hmm.
we have a lot of memories
Yeah,
from
we
children of the
do. We
like
do. Oh my
I remember us
goodness.
going from church to church, singing in different
Mm,
places. You knew who was gonna shout when.
girl.
Um, we could imitate each other's shouts
Yeah,
or
yeah.
hollers, hooping, whatever it was. But it was such
Yeah.
a fun time, even though we
Mm-hmm.
were there, you know, expressing our love for God.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know,
Mm,
it was producing joy
I'm telling you.
just to be around other people with like minds
Hmm.
and to just get out and have a good time. Because a lot of
Exactly.
people, when they're starting out in Christianity or are new to the faith, they have this rigidness
Mm-hmm.
about them.
Yeah.
And this allowed us to still be confident in our faith,
Mm-hmm.
but also just have a really good time, have
Yeah.
fun,
Mhm.
and create some memories, which we did.
Man,
So,
Yeah.
and the worship moments. Ooh, we had
Yeah.
some incredible worship
yeah, yeah.
experiences together.
Those fall
Um,
concerts.
hmm.
Yeah,
Didn't somebody fall in the water one time? That's what I was thinking about. Did somebody fall in the lake sometime? Or
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I know they were shouting on
Somebody.
the beach in Biloxi. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
great. But I don't remember anybody shouting in the water.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I think
That little lake at UNC Charlotte. Something like somebody got into the water or something. I can't remember the
Not that I
exact.
know of.
Okay.
I hope not. That's a memory that's failing me.
Ah,
I
Lord.
still remember my mama. Who was it? My mama. I think my mama bought some stockings for Sweet wherever we were singing at, and Sweet didn't have her stockings, which is a must-have. You know, depending on your
Back
back,
in the day, you had to have them stockings and
you
them
had to
high
have the
Oh my
boots.
stockings. And
gosh.
wherever that church was, I remember they had a pig picking, and I had never experienced a pig picking in my life,
Oh
and I
wow.
could remember the huge grill with the hog head sitting on the
I
grill.
vaguely remember that.
And I walked by to meet my mama to get the stockings to take them to the bank to get them Sweet. Now, why
It's
Ooh.
I
funny.
remember that, I don't know.
I don't
Wow.
remember that, but you know what I do remember? I think I remember like meeting all these people from different parts of North Carolina that
Mm-hmm.
because I had been in my western part of the state bubble. So
Yeah,
I knew Charlotte, Greensboro, Asheville, like the western part. But then like meeting people from Burlington and Fayetteville and Little
Yeah.
Washington and all these little towns
yeah,
on the other side of the state was really cool, as well as singing all over the state,
right,
literally,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
being able
Yeah.
to visit these churches that we were that the members were members of their home churches, and so it was just I really feel like a lot of formation took place for me. And I don't think that's abnormal. Like you're in college, so you are finding out who you are and learning and growing about yourself, being away from home that first time. But I do
Mm-hmm.
feel like a lot of my formation into the deeper depths of intimacy with the Lord really
Mm-hmm.
happened through um Children of the Sun, and then just like churches that I was a part of when I was
Yeah.
in college. But really Children of the Sun because it was a first time for me to see young people who were so adamant and
Mm.
sold out and
Passionate.
gung ho and
Yeah.
passionate about their faith. And I
yeah,
was just like, wow, like this
Mm-hmm.
is a real thing.
Yeah.
Because I had for all intents and purposes, like Shanita was saying, grew up being a church girl and
Mm-hmm.
really lived a very sheltered life, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And had, been ingrained with a thought process that centered around faith and how you should present yourself and how you should be and what you should and should not do. And, even then in the late 90s, early 2000s, that was still considered antiquated.
Mm-hmm.
So to meet other young people that were like, no, I'm not partying, I'm not getting drunk, I'm not doing all these other things, it was like, I'm not alone.
right.
And so it almost validated that this is okay and that it can be done. That's not to
Yeah.
say that we didn't have issues. We were growing,
Oh my God.
but there was an endeavor to live holy.
Oh, this is true. And that's the thing too, is like you come to college thinking, oh yeah, I'm about to get my party on. And that first week I remember going to the little block party that they had. And that was literally the last and only party that I went to on the campus of UNC
The one in front of
Charlotte.
Moore, the one in front of Moore,
Yep,
was
the
it
one in
that?
Yeah,
front of more. That was it. And I ain't even stay the whole time because I ain't feel good. And I was
Yeah,
just like, Lord, what in the world? And then
amen.
after that, I was on the choir, and that was all she wrote. I did all my little partying in high school, I guess. I don't
I had
know.
I had one party experience at UNC Charlotte.
Mhm.
So mind you, I grew up, like I said, a church girl, loved the Lord. Everybody knew I was saved. But I'm like, I'm in school. My first weekend there, I was hanging out with my cousin went to UNC Charlotte too. I met her roommate.
Mhm.
She went back home, but me and her roommate started hanging out that weekend.
Mhm.
And it was like the weekend that you could like move out, start moving your stuff in.
Yeah.
So I met up with this girl who I do not know her name to this day. And we were hanging out the whole day doing all these different activities they had for freshmen coming onto campus. Well, she had met this dude
Mm.
and I'm hanging out with them. Johnson C. Smith had a game or a party or something. It couldn't have been a game, so it had to have been like some type of party on their campus.
Mm-hmm.
I get in the car with two people who I essentially do not know, go to Johnson C. Smith, only to get to Johnson C. Smith to be told, one, we can't get in the party because we're not students there. Then to add insult to injury, old boy's car breaks down
Oh, yeah,
on the
Wow.
campus of
That's
JCU.
crazy.
We're trying to call a cab. It is a Panthers game night. So all this is pre Uber and all the things pre them.
Wow.
All the cabs are downtown. Y'all, I didn't get back to my room till like 3 o'clock in the morning
and didn't even go
because
to the party.
we didn't
Wow.
go to the party. And I said, even then, the Holy Spirit was like, you will not. You will not come down here and act the monkey. That was it. That was I was one and done. I was like,
D9.
okay,
It's
okay,
crazy how we kind of had the same experience.
yeah.
That was
After
it.
that,
One
I
and
was
done.
traumatized. I was so
Hmm.
tired and sleepy and cold when I got back to that room. Hungry, like all the things. And I was like, why you don't even party? Like, what are you doing? So yeah,
Wow.
I thought that was funny. That was my party experience. And that was all the
Hmm.
partying I did.
Did you go
I
to any shit either?
No, I was not a party girl. I remember the
Okay.
block party that you're talking about, and I just
Yeah.
walked out there, and I may have walked back in my room, and it just wasn't. It was no. I didn't have a desire to do those things.
Wow.
Um, I just felt out of place.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say I ain't do other things, but I didn't do that. And
Yeah.
so, but I was gonna say I can remember us like not everybody had a car.
Right.
We had a Hyundai.
Yeah, I did.
Mika had a hatchback. It was a two-door. Was it?
That's
Uh-huh.
what she had, the 85,
Yep, the
the Honda
A5.
Accord. The
When I
85.
tell you, no,
But
it was
she got hers her the our sophomore year, I think. I think
okay.
I was the only person with a car that freshman year and
When I
everybody was
say
piled
we
in
packed
trying
up
to
in
get
that car like sardines, we was sitting up in there, but we got where we needed to go.
Oh my
We
God.
went to Sunday service at the time. I think we, for a period of time, we were going to Salem, and
Mm-hmm.
then we ended up going to New Life. So we were at Pastor
Yeah.
Church for a while, and we were singing on the church choir. Couldn't get enough of singing, and that's when we came in touch with Sarita Tamburina. Uh,
Serena Tambourine,
Yeah.
I remember her.
Tambourine on the front
Yeah.
row playing the tambourine.
Mm-hmm.
Just so many things that I
I'm
can
telling you.
remember us just having just really good times. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
those are things you can't forget because
I'm
they make an
telling you.
impression on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that even my kids have an opportunity to experience people like that in a healthy
Yeah.
way, even if it's not in
Absolutely.
college, but
Mm-hmm.
just to be able to establish connections with people who really love the Lord
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that can walk the path with them. Because sometimes when you're a Christian or you're a church girl, even if you're not living the life fully, you can
Mm-hmm.
feel alone if it's
You
early,
can.
especially early on
Yeah.
in your faith. So to have had the opportunity to be in a school
Mm-hmm.
system and have people that you can have conversations with and it not be strange, or you can ask them to pray for you, or you pray for them, or hear them speaking in an unknown tongue or shouting or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still okay because
Yeah.
y'all live in the same spiritual space, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too. Like I just thought of who the first person that I met when out of our friend group, and it was right after the block party. I went back to my room, and guess who knocked on my door?
Tamika.
Yep,
Who?
Shamika.
You said who?
Shamika, because she lived right down the hall from me, and she knocked on my door, and I opened it up, and she was like, you went to the bar?" I was like, "Yeah, but I ain't stay long." And so we had a little brief conversation, and I think me and her went to the fall concert together. Now that I'm thinking stuff is starting to, Perry be trying to make you forget stuff, but but it's
Carry that
starting to
demon.
come back to my remembrance now of who I met the first time. So yeah, and the rest is history.
You know what else is pretty cool is the relationships that people had, romantic relationships that are still
Hmm.
Oh
together.
Yeah.
Dark and Nikki,
Hmm.
yeah. Him and
him and
Charles,
Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's um,
Belinda and Chris.
yeah,
Hmm.
so I think that's really cool.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah.
looking at actually Charles and Kim today, and I was like, "Dang,
Oh,
they've been together
they just
for
so
eons and
precious.
eons."
Eons, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh God,
They have,
yeah.
man.
So it's really
Wow.
cool.
I was like,
Yeah.
Lord, I wish I could have found mine while I was in school.
Yeah.
I was
Girl,
so
because when you get
oblivious.
older,
It
I
was,
know I
it was
wasn't even
not even on
thinking.
my
Yeah,
mind.
that's true. That's true. I was
I
trying to get
wanted it
that
to happen, but
degree.
I
Yeah,
won't say the Lord wouldn't let it be, but it just won't. It won't.
yeah, it
It
just
didn't
won't.
happen. It
No,
probably was the Lord looking out for me. Was like, no,
Oh my
no,
God.
daughter, no,
Mm-mm.
no.
I'm telling
no.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Wow.
was fond memories, good memories.
Hmm. Very, very good
You know
memories.
what I remember? This ain't a choir thing, but we had somebody pull the fire alarm.
Yeah, they would do that all the time at Moore. Be
Oh
out there
my
in the
goodness.
cold,
Who
sleet
was
and
it that
rain.
stayed? Somebody slept through the alarm. Was it Shamika or Frankie? We were downstairs and everybody
Somebody.
was looking and we said, where is it? Might have been Shamika. I
I
think
feel
it
like
was
it
Shamika.
was Shamika. I feel like I heard his story.
And they was like, she's still asleep. It was because Frankie, I remember Frankie saying, I told her to get up. And she wouldn't get up.
Oh
Shamika
my
was on the
God.
part too.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, and
That's
we
crazy.
went back upstairs and she might have still been asleep. Well, we had
Yeah.
the alarm been pulled, people loud going down the
Oh, I'm
stairs because
telling
we lived on
you.
the 8th floor in the freshman dorm. And it
I
Hmm.
was,
think I stayed on the sixth floor.
I can't
huh?
remember what
I said
floor
when
I
I
was
was in
on.
the freshman dorm, I stayed on the sixth floor.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think we were on 8. I think I was in 810. Or was it Holzhausen? One of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what was the name of that place? We would go and we would have musical events. What was it called? The Rat Scale? Was it the
Oh, the
Cell?
little theater place?
Oh, the rec center.
The,
You talking about the sack?
it was right under the
The
place we
parking
would go and
garage?
eat. The
It was the sack, the student activity center.
no, no, no. It was
Oh,
the
you're talking
Rat
about
Scale.
I
It's
know what you're
something.
talking about. I can't remember the name of it. It started with an R.
Yeah. I thought it was the Rat Skeller or something like that. That we would
That
meet
sounds
sometimes and
slightly
have
familiar.
musical events and different things like that. I remember us going there. And then I also remember, Lord, these are the joys of being in the freshman dorms. It seems like it was like what would be like break out of crabs and breaks out of different things that would
Lord, the nastiness.
Lord, it was
It
only
was.
happen in the freshman dorm. It
Because
would be
they was
like,
nasty. Them
yeah,
kids
it would be
coming
like
home.
crabs and different types of things that would break out into the bathroom. You don't remember
I
that
do not
more?
I
remember
do
that.
remember that and more.
I remember one of the bathrooms literally being taped off, like you can't go in here because
Lord
Yes, I was
Jesus.
so glad to get out of the freshman dorms and
oh
that
my
go community
god.
showers.
Ooh, oh
Good
yeah,
grief.
because we had the communal showers and
It
oh
was
Yeah,
two
god.
showers on each side and
yeah.
two toilets.
Mm-hmm.
So
Girl.
glad to be
When I tell you,
to
and
be
then
out.
my roommate too, the first roommate I had, when I tell you that baby was nasty, dirty drawers on the floor, old food, in her closet on her bed. Then
Oh,
she would bring her little boyfriend over. They would be getting it on in the bed. Now I'm just like, Lord, get
what?
me out of here, honey.
Get me
Is
out,
what
Jesus.
it's-
Get me out, Jesus.
Yes, but she
That's the
wasn't
thing.
in there long. I can't. It seemed like she ended up. I don't know if she left school or ended up getting her own. I think we maybe spent a semester together or something like
My
that. But
my first roommate, she was from she was an out of state student, and the only thing I specifically remember was that her parents were either lawyers or judges, and
mm,
that baby just one day left and left all her
yep,
stuff.
that happens.
And she like never came back. And she said the last time I talked to her,
Wow.
she was like working with horses or something. I don't know. She had all these like she left her clothes and different things. And she came back and got some of the stuff, but some of the stuff I just took. It was nice stuff. And I kept in contact with her a little bit. But I think the latter half of my freshman year, I had a room to myself.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because the baby was like, "This ain't for me." She
and
was like, "Deuces."
and that happens a lot with freshmen. People
Yeah.
leave. They.
My freshman roommate, I actually chose because we went to high school together.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
so we roomed
Yeah,
together. My
Wow.
freshman year, she was a pastor's kid,
Okay.
and I was a preacher's daughter. So
Y'all got
it
along
worked.
good.
it worked. It was a trying time,
Ooh, Lord.
but God is still faithful.
That thing,
Ooh.
it's funny because it's in that freshman experience, and it is a
Mhm.
freshman experience that you begin to see how you were raised and how
Yeah,
other people were
Yeah.
raised.
Mhm.
Because
No
I grew up
different.
in a home where you had to clean up, and Saturday
Mhm.
mornings were reserved for laundry and grocery shopping, and making sure the house was clean. And you don't know what type of person you are until you're in a situation where you're not being mandated to do these things.
right.
Yes,
And
so
so I do
true.
remember having some bumping heads with my roommate, the one that left,
Mhm.
because my side of the room, I've always been, a little anal retentive about like in his place, and it has to be here and it has to be clean. And her
Mhm.
side of the room looked like
Who shall
Oh
drive by?
gosh.
it was, and that wore me out. And
Mhm.
even when I left and came back, I was in a apartment, and I had some knockout dragouts with my roommates. Like, y'all nasty, and I'm
Woo.
not cleaning up this kitchen. I'm
Help
not cleaning the
us.
bathroom. Like we was going toe to toe. Like, I'm not talking
Yeah.
to y'all. Whatever, whatever. These are the communal spaces, so it's like all that home training kicked in
Mhm.
Yeah.
immediately.
Man.
That
We
was,
were good. Like my freshman roommate, like we were good because we knew each other. But you don't really. We didn't have any major issues or anything like that. I
Mhm.
think and I even tell my daughter this now. My second daughter is in college, and I'm like, you have friends, but rooming together can, for some people, destroy your
It's
it
relationship
can.
true.
because
Yeah.
everybody has a different come from. Everybody has
Mhm.
different life habits and how they do
Yeah.
things. And so you're trying to mesh all of that
It's so
together. And
true.
sometimes it's just not functional. And when you're a freshman, you don't really know anything about conflict resolution in a
Mhm.
healthy manner. You just
Yeah.
existing and doing the best you can,
Mhm.
with what you have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think I did okay. Outside of that, in the dorms, I may have been by myself that my sophomore year, I
Mm.
think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel, I'm sorry.
no, you good. The most I dealt with was hearing the bed squeaking upstairs and
Ooh.
beside
Help. Ah.
After freshman year, all I stayed by myself. Then me and Nikki did an apartment together. That was a good experience, but there was one girl in that apartment named Shonda. And,
Ooh.
and me
me.
and
You
her,
put
we
a
was
name out there,
I
sweetie.
know.
don't nobody know her last name. We stayed at it. I was so glad when she moved out.
Wow.
I mean, I don't, and it was three other people in there. It's four, an
Mhm.
apartment of four. I don't know why we had so much beef, but we did. Um,
that kind of happened with us, Shanita. You remember it was me, you, Nahasha, and some other girl, and she
Yeah.
would her little boyfriend would be coming eating up all our food, showering with her in the shower. I would be like, "What is really going on here?"
Was it with you when
Or was
there
it
was
you, or was it
somebody?
Ruthina who was in
No,
the?
I
It was
remember
you. Okay.
somebody, but I
Mm-hmm.
also remember somebody that would come who was there. And I don't know if this was summer or regular year,
Mm-hmm.
but she was into a different belief. Or maybe that was
Mm,
Charlotte. Somebody was snapping over pots and things. So I don't remember
yeah,
if it was with us or somebody else experienced that, and we would go into prayer.
I do remember a girl who was kind of strange,
Yeah,
who
but she
had a
was into
different.
witchcraft.
Yeah, I think I do vaguely remember that.
Oh, this makes me think about,
Oh
okay,
my god.
I ain't gonna mention no specifics. Okay, so one, I remember in the dorm we stayed in, we used to do, me and an old friend of mine used to do Bible studies and things. And then I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if y'all remember, but I had an evangelism team too, and a lot of the people that were part of it were from the choir. But
Mm-hmm.
there were girls who deemed themselves as witches on the top floor
Mm.
in the dorm. And when we would have Bible study, or they knew where all the Christians lived, they would try to intimidate us,
Oh
like walk by
wow.
and do things and talk about
Mm.
all the stuff they would be doing upstairs. And we was like, we ain't scared.
Oof.
We ain't scared. We ain't scared. So it
Mm.
just led us to go. But that was the first time I had been exposed to anything like that. And
Yeah.
then, of course, back in the day, you had the cults that were coming on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
I got caught up with
What?
the Church of Charlotte.
Oh
Did you?
girl. I remember that one
Yes.
time. Didn't we go to lunch and they was trying to I was just like, I don't want no parts. I'm not
I
interested.
know how that I met this young lady. She's a black girl. I don't know, like I guess I was being evangelized
Mm.
because I met her. She was really nice, really sweet. She invited me to a Bible study, air quotes, and I went. And they were talking about the Bible, and I remember, God rest his soul, that was my, we went to the BB King concert because they had a BB
Oh
King
wow.
concert at the SAC. And I went and saw, that's where I saw BB King for the first time. She and I went together. And I was like going to their Bible studies. And I think it was somebody from the choir that kind of
Oh,
casually was like, yeah,
oh
they're a
girl.
cult. And I was like, huh?
Surprise,
Oh, yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
And then it was like, obviously I stopped going. And then, she was calling me and I was like, no, that's okay. But yeah, that was my first experience because it was, that very
surprise.
fine line and similarities there.
Yeah.
Yep. And it seemed familiar. I just remember once I found out about it, and I was just so hardcore. Like I felt like I was a Black Panther Christian or something. Like just so assertive and aggressive. And it was like I was raised up under the word church. This is what it is. This is what it's gonna be, and I ain't accepted nothing less.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much grace and mercy back
I
then. It was just like, no,
ain't never scared.
right. But I think I was like that with everybody when it came to scripture. I was just,
Yeah,
I don't know,
you knew your word and you
I
was
was
like,
militant. How you
You
gonna be
were
a militant
militant.
Christian? I didn't know no better. It was just, I think when I came, I didn't, I had experienced fellowshipping with different churches. And of course, with my dad being a musician and my mama being a head usher, you
Ooh.
get exposed to certain things going to
Yeah.
different, back in the day, you used to go fellowship at other churches in the afternoon after you done went to your
Yeah.
service and then went to Quincy's or Ryan's or
Yeah,
Ooh.
wherever.
you had a
Oh
good
my
church.
God. Them big fat yeast
And
rolls.
so whenever it came, when I got there, I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt then. I was like
Mm.
appalled like, y'all want me to sing what? I remember them wanting me to sing, we had to sing certain things on the choir, and I was like, that is not biblical. So
Ooh,
I just be like, on that part of the song, I
help
wouldn't say
us.
anything. But that was my militant Christianity,
Yeah,
like just
Father, we
refusing
thank you for
help
grace
us. Yeah,
and mercy.
So now, of course, a lot of times you find that when people first get saved, which I had been saved for a little while, but they're like,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. And I think that's where I was at that time.
Yeah.
And of course, as you mature, you're discipled and you grow with God, you learn, okay, you ain't got to be militant Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You
You can get
can,
them with honey too.
Yeah.
what you say?
You catch them with honey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
It's the love of Christ that draws people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And love don't, I mean, love can correct and things like that, but that even in your correction, it's a certain way that you have to handle it.
Yeah.
And that comes with
Mhm.
maturity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a militant.
And I remember too, I don't know if I was a part of your evangelism team or if Children of the Sun, if we decided to go out and hand out tracks.
Tracks.
I can't remember which one it, but I remember those moments of being rejected and, them taking the track and throwing it on the ground and being like,
Yes.
oh my God, I can't believe
Yeah.
they did that, that type of thing. But it didn't take me long to realize that I excel more at walking alongside people than just handing them a track and saying get
Yeah.
saved. That just, yeah.
It's a
uh
different life.
for me that translates a little bit better. But like you said, when you're first a Christian, you're just like get saved, get saved or you're going to hell type. You're not really thinking
Like the
about,
belt tower preacher.
I was
yeah,
just about to say,
yeah,
You're
man,
going
you
to
stick
hell.
with me out there consistently, honey, just
every
going
day.
toe to toe.
Condemning the folk to hell.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like I was
Wow.
like, dang, brother, I
Mm.
want you to preach Jesus, but my Lord.
Yeah, he was
I was
hardcore.
like, Lord, is my salvation real?
Right. After
Exactly.
hearing him for an hour,
Oh my
I
gosh.
the first young lady that I ever led to Christ was on the campus of UNC Charlotte.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
it
pretty.
was a young lady that I had a class with. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so that a lot of special
Hmm.
moments took
yeah,
place on that
Yeah.
campus.
yeah.
A lot of
That's
things
Hmm.
my
were formed.
All
that was
the.
my first place of rejection with the
Ooh,
evangelism. Like I had a
yeah.
whole lot of that. So I learned
Exactly.
that street evangelism is not for the punks. Like
Come on,
it's
somebody.
it's it's different.
Come on.
God calls us to each evangelize
Yeah.
and things like that, but to nakedly go out to
Hmm.
just random people without having a relationship with them
Yeah.
and be able to convey your the scripture
Hmm.
and your conviction without being offended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes some development and
Hmm.
application and will, because the first person is like you said, Holly.
Hmm.
I remember people taking it and ripping it up.
Yep.
Jesus ain't real. Like they were
Yep. Just
going
going cray cray.
like, okay, all right. So it and
Hmm.
that could crush somebody if they're not
Hmm.
strong in their faith. They
So true.
might be running back,
Hmm.
crying and never want to
Exactly.
do it again.
Hmm.
I
So
joined oh God, what's it called? Is it InterVarsity
Oh
Christian Fellowship?
yeah.
I joined
Hmm.
them, don't know how, but I ended up connecting with them. They were not a cult. And we used to do this ministry endeavor where we would go to the university hospital and ask the people in the waiting room if we could pray with them.
Oh, that's
And that was
awesome.
like my first time like doing that, like hands on
Hmm.
in the field ministry type stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I don't know if it's because people were desperate or not, but I don't recall ever being rejected,
Yeah, you ain't gonna
as
be
far as like
rejected
going
there.
in prayer. And I think even
Exactly.
now that I feel like that's such a good evangelistic tool.
hmm
Hmm.
Um, because it was just an ask. And
Yeah,
they can say no or yes.
Yeah.
And it,
exactly.
it wasn't a whole bunch of hikamaha, and it was just like whatever they there
Hmm.
for, little, little,
Exactly.
little prayer, the help
Yeah.
of Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
All
was
right.
part of another fellowship too,
Mm-hmm.
something campus, but I always,
Campus Crusade for Christ. Was that it?
I don't know if it was Campus Crusade, but it was something. But the way I differentiated between the two was one was white and then the choir was black
Yeah,
predominantly.
this one was predominantly
And
Caucasian.
so, like, even
Mm.
I remember going to the Amy Grant concert on campus, which was white
Mm.
people, listening to Point of Grace, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Michael
Mm-hmm.
W. Smith,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
and then Hezekiah Walker, John P.
Yeah.
Key, Kirk Franklin. It was totally different culturally, but I'm glad I was able to experience both,
Mm-hmm.
um, and be able to have some diversity
Yeah.
while I was on campus because that was, I mean, of course I had diversity being where I'm from, but to be in close proximity and have
Mm-hmm.
community with people that didn't necessarily look like me was pretty cool too.
Did we
Yeah.
do a fundraiser? I remember
Yep.
going
Pennies and
to,
dollars. What? Which one?
not that one.
Oh.
I remember us going, I do remember pennies and dollars. Somebody still owes some pennies.
Oh
Um,
Lord,
I do remember us going to Carowinds and volunteering because I was a
Yeah,
part of
I
that.
remember that.
It was like what was it? So there's Gospel Fest, and then I guess there's
Joy
CTF
Fest.
Joy Fest,
Yeah.
and then there was
Mm-hmm.
another. This one was like a lot of Caucasian Christian
Yeah,
contemporary Christian artists. But remember the girl, people get ready.
Yep.
Jesus is come.
Krista
She was at
Lewis.
that play.
Crystal Lewis.
Krista Lewis.
That's where I saw her for the first time because we were volunteering at Carowinds.
Oh, I thought that was a song in that play that we went to see that time. The end
It
times
Oh,
play.
was,
Enraptured.
but
Oh, but you
it
saw the girl
was,
who
but
sung
it
it
was a
at the. Okay,
yeah. I remember
gotcha.
her before she sang it. She was like, "I never knew I would be singing this song for the rest of my life."
It was being played everywhere, and I remember in the
Everywhere.
play, and they had that man coming in on a white horse.
Jesus
And then
is
remember when the people
come.
disappeared? When the people disappeared, when the
Yeah.
rapture came, and it was just closed. I was
Hmm.
like,
Yeah, honey, we was all traumatized by the rapture.
Girl, for real
I'm
life.
not trying. It's too late to change your
Your
mind.
mind
The
is
time
what
has
has
come and
come and
you've
you've
been
been
left
left
behind.
behind. That's how that man
Right.
sounded on that movie, Lord have
yeah.
mercy.
Oh gosh, I
Ooh.
remember that. That's so funny.
Oh my
They had the
God.
people doing drugs,
Crazy.
and
Yep.
I guess somebody was supposed to be a sexual scene. They didn't show that part, but then somebody was on a plane or something, and they
Somebody was at a
showed
ball game.
people in the middle of
Yep.
the act
Mm.
and either being left behind, and then all the people that won't right looking around. Oh my God, we've been left behind.
Honey, they got to play down. I think we talked about it on one of our episodes that would look like child's play. Like because somebody had showed it on social media. It was an end times play. They had an operating room scene where they were trying to deliver the baby. It was gone. It was a
What?
crashing scene where the people had vanished from the car. So the car, like it, when I say high tech, just I don't even know where they did it at, but when I say it make that other one look like Boo Boo the Fool because it was just girl,
How about they tried? They tried.
honey, because the
That was
great
that 80s tech. They
you
had
yeah
me.
Yeah,
you
it was
right,
back in the day.
but I don't even know where that one was or where it's being if it's still playing but I just remember seeing clips of it on social media. But girl, it's
That's
So
crucial.
the fear tactic in the salvation.
Yeah.
right.
Ah,
Was
Lord.
scaring people to Jesus,
Scaring
but
people
not
to
really.
Yeah, I
Jesus.
know.
But not really. It didn't stick for most people.
It
Girl.
didn't. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Lord. Honey, and
And
the
so,
more the Lord tarries, the more people are going to, look
Yeah.
at that stuff and just be like, whatever. But then
Yeah.
that'll be the time he come be like,
Right.
yeah, like a thief in the night. But yeah. But yeah, good times. Good
yeah.
Very
times.
good times.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. But did y'all have anything else you wanted to add to the conversation? I think this has been good. Just kind of, it's been nice to reminisce with you
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we
Hmm.
can. All of our UNC Charlotte people are watching. Will be
Yay.
watching, and
What's up?
we can all kind of reminisce together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's,
Reminisce on the love
Woo.
we. That's Mary. Mary J.
Ooh,
um,
man.
yeah,
Mm.
I think that when I sit back and when I look back over my life,
Uh
Oh,
huh.
when I look back
I'm
over
eternally
my life.
grateful for the relationships that the Lord allowed to happen in those formative years. And,
Mm-hmm.
my old pastor used to say he was relationship rich. And I feel that same
Mm-hmm.
way. I would even say relationship wealthy.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
I still have friends from high school that I'm still in connection with that I met in
Mm-hmm.
sixth grade that we're
Yeah.
still like rocking tight together. And then, having these and so having these college relationships, and then,
Mm-hmm.
some of my high school friends, I've met some of their college equivalents.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just beautiful. And it makes me very grateful and thankful to have friends and ministry partners and sisters and brothers in Christ
Mm-hmm.
that I'm involved with. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead, Holly.
Go ahead. I was gonna go off the beaten path. Go ahead. What's
No, I
your
was just
thought?
gonna say, just to echo that, I think like you said, it is a beautiful thing to
Mm-hmm.
see where we are now, and like you said,
Mm-hmm.
many of us have connected in ministry,
Yeah.
um, and like you guys had the album together, you sung
Mm-hmm.
together. I've hosted
Yeah.
an event or two,
Mm-hmm.
and Kim has come through. When I was doing conferences, she's ministered at an event I had and did one of the
Mm-hmm.
breakout sessions. So there's been this continual
Mm-hmm.
cross of paths, even though we're in different spaces at different points in our life, that lets you know that God really orchestrates relationship.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And He knows before we know what we have need of. And I think
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to how our relationships have developed, was an answered prayer, you know. So
Absolutely.
I don't take it for granted, and I'm like
Mm-hmm.
you, I'm very appreciative and grateful to have the relationships that I have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I definitely agree with you all. It's just been an amazing ride. Just getting to know each other, just kind of doing life with each other, in essence, and just seeing how we all have grown, how we all have evolved. And some of us still are in North Carolina, some of us have moved, we've had family, children, all of the things. And so it's just been a beautiful full circle moment to see all that God has done in each and every one of our lives. And
Yeah.
I was thinking when you said reminisce, I just began to think about the soundtrack of our lives. Like we had some of the best choir music, some of the best gospel,
Yes.
some of the
Yes.
best even R&B music. When you talking about reminisce and Mary J, like that whole era,
That whole
just
era.
It
us
was
the
different,
night it was. Oh my
unmatched.
goodness. Come on, somebody.
I just said that
Unmatched.
Friday night. Yep.
Yeah, and just seeing a lot of them come on, even with the hip hop, coming on Tiny Desk, just singing Eve, how she just killed it, and
Yeah.
Joe was on there, and just seeing
Yeah.
some of, you know,
SWV.
come on, it's just been, yeah, we were alive, I think, in the best, the best of times, if you
The
will.
best of times. Absolutely.
Absolutely, but
Times look
yeah,
very different. Like,
oh my
not to
God.
criticize where we are now. So let me put
Mhm.
that out there. But
Yeah,
can you imagine what Tiny Desk would look like? Will look like in the future
girl.
with the music now? It's a little different.
My Lord.
Um,
Bless
I
their
want
There are a
hearts.
few good artists out there.
there are a few now. Yeah, okay. So there are a few
Mm-hmm.
that kind of remind me of what we had, but
Yeah,
there aren't as many. Like
it's
back in the
so
day
true.
when you had Whitney Houston,
Come on, somebody.
Mariah Carey,
Oh
like you had
man,
You
singers.
had singers.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
That are still influencing the current generation. That's how good
Right.
they
That
were.
says a lot.
Yeah,
Right,
it
right.
does. Yeah.
Brandy,
People are sampling,
Monica.
yeah,
Come
branding
on.
on. People are sampling music, and they're
Exactly.
our age, and they still touring.
Come
Yeah,
on. Come on.
yeah.
Their
And
music
some of them more successful than the new ones.
because it's timeless. I
Yeah,
feel like
it
that
is.
it's kind of like the music from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
timeless.
it is.
yeah.
It
It's
is.
always relevant.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. People still
Man.
they still doing Temptation tours, and I think about all them dead. But
Girl,
it's
girl, we
Temptation.
got to, my whole family, well, not my whole family, we got to take my mama to go see Patty and Gladys and
Ooh,
Stephanie
come
and
on
Shaka.
now. Yay.
Like these jokers are in their 70s and 80s and still
Man, still
touring.
killing it.
Yeah.
Wow. Lord Shaka look like she about 25.
Girl,
You
don't she
70.
look good? Don't she look good?
Dang,
I
Lord.
like how Shaka moved.
Exactly. Lord have mercy. Man. So good time. But I know everybody says that about their generation, but I believe we really did have the best. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I mean, they got all the TikToks with our music on there, so
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
think that says
we're the
Yep.
blueprint.
Yeah, yep, we are. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's all we gonna talk about today. If all hearts and minds are clear.
All hearts and minds are
May the
clear.
Lord watch.
But we told
Between
y'all we
me and
ain't
thee.
want nothing. This was just randomness. But we wanted y'all to get to know us a little bit, and hopefully you feel like you have, just hearing us sitting here talking and reminiscing about the past. So. All right, well, that is it. If you guys don't mind hitting that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you can be made aware anytime we drop a video. We drop the last Friday of every month. Go and like us on social media at Truth Reveal Podcast on Facebook or at Truth Reveal Pod on Instagram. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Everything. Anybody else got anything else to say? All
God
right.
bless. Good night.
All right. Well, thank you for
Y'all
coming
come
out.
out.
God bless you. Good night. That's another thing from back in our
Oh
time. Def
no.
Def
Comedy Jam.
Jam.
Yes.
That's
Sir.
The
comedy
Jam.
jam.
Yes.
Yeah,
We the
Russell
greatest.
Simmons.
We the
Yep.
greatest.
Come on now. Some of the greatest comedians came through there
Yeah.
during our era. I digress. All right. All right, y'all. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.